The story begins, as Naoki crouched inside the cleaning cabinet, a flicker of relief washing over him as he believed Kirishima Nichika, the most beautiful girl in school, wouldn't find him. The cramped space felt like a sanctuary until a creak echoed through the air, followed by her cheerful voice calling, "Senpai!" The cabinet door swung open, revealing Nichika's radiant smile, her eyes sparkling with delight. "Your girlfriend is looking for you," she said, her tone playful yet assured. Naoki's heart raced, stunned that she had tracked him down. His father's words, born from the pain of his mother's 6 betrayals, echoed in his mind, "Never fully trust women, especially beautiful ones." Those words had shaped Naoki's skepticism, pushing him to retreat into novels and anime, avoiding girls who kept their distance. So why was Nichika, the school's dazzling star, so fixated on him? "Why are you here?" Naoki asked, his voice tinged with suspicion as he emerged from the cabinet. "Because I'm your girlfriend," Nichika replied simply, her smile unwavering. Naoki frowned, his defenses up. "I told you you're not my girlfriend. A couple needs both parties to agree." He couldn't fathom why someone like her, popular, stunning, and out of his league, would choose him, a self-described shady character with no redeeming qualities. Convinced she had an ulterior motive, he pressed, "I knew it. Are you scheming something?" Nichika's face fell, her eyes glistening with hurt. "That's cruel," she said softly. "I only wanted to make my boyfriend happy." Before she could say more, she held out a bento box. "I made this just for you." Naoki, flustered, grabbed the bento to avoid further conflict. "I'll eat it," he blurted, adding, "I'm just surprised you made it. It's filled only with your favorites," Nichika said, her smile returning bright and proud. As Naoki opened the box, he noticed the meal was not only his favorite but also nutritionally balanced. His cheeks flushed as he stammered, "It's really well thought out." Not wanting to hear her tease him further, he began eating. To his surprise, the food was delicious. Nichika beamed, her expression that of a proud girlfriend. "Thank you for the meal," Naoki said, his stomach full to bursting. "It was really good. I promise not to make too much next time," Nichika replied, her voice warm. Naoki couldn't wrap his head around it. Nichika, a top student and the flashiest, most popular girl in her year, called herself his girlfriend. Why him? During a break, he found himself watching her from a distance as a third-year student approached her. The boy apologized for interrupting, and Nichika, ever gracious, reassured him. "It's no problem." Naoki, intrigued, followed them discreetly to a quiet spot, the kind where confessions often happened. The third-year boy, an attractive ikemen, in Naoki's eyes, nervously admitted, "I've been wanting to say something. Will you go out with me?" Naoki wasn't surprised. He had expected this. Nichika's popularity made confessions inevitable, and he braced himself for her response, certain she'd see she could do better than him. But Nichika's reply was unexpected. "List 100 things you like about me," she said, her tone calm but firm. The boy froze, stunned. "If you're truly in love with me, you should be able to answer," she added before walking away. Naoki tried to slip away before she noticed him, but Nichika's presence was inescapable. She called out, "Naoki," pulling him back. "List the points," she said, her eyes gleaming with expectation. Blushing, Naoki nervously began counting on his fingers, stumbling through his thoughts. Nichika's smile widened, clearly impressed. "Just what I expected of you," she said, her voice soft but triumphant. For a moment, Naoki wondered if letting her call herself his girlfriend might not be so bad. In middle school, Nichika had been different, quiet, almost invisible. During attendance, when the teacher called her name, she responded with a soft, "Here," barely audible. Her classmates whispered about her shyness, some defending her sensitivity. As a library committee member, Nichika distributed books diligently but struggled with confrontation. One day, when noisy students disrupted the library, she gathered her courage to intervene but hesitated. Before she could act, Naoki stepped in, taking a book from her and turning to the group. "You're being too loud," he said firmly. "This is a library. Keep it quiet." The girls, annoyed, stood up, but Naoki's calm authority silenced them. He turned to Nichika, saying, "I'll be borrowing this book." To her, he was effortlessly cool, his quiet confidence captivating. She began watching him during breaks, noticing how he ate alone, admiring his solitary habits. They spoke only once in middle school, but that moment lingered, drawing her to him over time. Back in the present, Nichika startled Naoki in the library, calling his name. "I've become such a cute girl," she teased, standing proudly. "Look at me." Naoki avoided her gaze, but she persisted, calling his name again until he met her eyes. Meanwhile, students crowded around a board displaying exam scores, marveling at Nichika's 700 points, the highest once again. "No one can beat Kirishima," one said, while another downplayed it. Nichika, overhearing, said modestly, "Anyone could do it if they just studied properly." Inside, she glowed with pride, knowing her sleepless nights had paid off, fueled by Naoki's kind words from years ago. In Naoki's classroom, as he read a novel, Nichika approached, only to be interrupted by their talkative Japanese teacher, Yansa Aishuru. "Your results are excellent, Kirishima," he gushed, suggesting her study habits deserved research. Nichika, exasperated by his chatter, wished he'd stop. She caught Naoki's glance and waved subtly, wondering if he was glaring. Then she noticed his eyes linger on a girl with twin tails passing by. A pang of jealousy hit her, her intense stare demanding if that was his type. Naoki, sensing her unease, wanted to explain it meant nothing. But Nichika closed the distance, her voice trembling. "Naoki," she said, tears welling. "Stop looking at other girls." "All right," Naoki replied, flustered. "I was only looking at some litter. The girl with the twin tails must have dropped it. I was waiting for them to leave so I could toss it out." He paused, then asked, "Do you think it's gross?" Nichika's expression softened, her eyes shining. "So cool and cute," she said, leaving Naoki baffled by her sudden shift. Together, they threw away the litter, her mood noticeably brighter. Later, in the library's peaceful atmosphere, Naoki read quietly until Nichika appeared. "What are you reading?" she asked, startling him. "How do you always know where I am?" he asked, half exasperated. Softly, she asked, "Do you like books?" Her voice held a nostalgic warmth. "Even back in middle school, you'd always hide away in the library." She confessed she'd admired his book-loving nature since then. "How nostalgic," Naoki echoed, smiling. "I did spend most of my middle school days in the library." "Did you?" Nichika blushed, stuttering. Naoki's smile grew. "You haven't changed at all," he said warmly. "I know because I've always been watching you." Nichika reached for his hand, her voice soft but firm. "After all, I am your girlfriend." Naoki pulled back, flustered. "You're not my girlfriend," he insisted. She laughed lightly. "It's nothing," she said, though her eyes held hope for something more. During class, while girls changed into jerseys for PE, Nichika realized she'd forgotten hers. Shivering, she approached Naoki. "Can I borrow your jersey?" she asked, tugging at it. "I have PE's second period," Naoki protested. A third-year boy offered his jersey instead, but Nichika persisted until Naoki relented. As she ran off with his jersey, thanking him, Naoki imagined her wearing it, his cheeks flushing with regret. Nichika, slipping it on, smiled, savoring its scent and feeling lucky for her forgetfulness. The third-year boy, disappointed, muttered his offer again. During a marathon, Naoki shivered without his jersey, consoling himself that at least Nichika wouldn't catch a cold. A week later, his jersey still hadn't been returned, leaving him to wonder about her intentions.